As a woman, I do not try to over-identify with your plight. I don't try to over-empathize or over-consider your situation until you have consistently proven yourself to be trustworthy as a human being. This is a sound rule, particularly as it applies to men. Stay with me here, because in a patriarchy, men are automatically in a position to oppress, manipulate, and exploit women. They just are. And let it be known that you can still operate with kindness and propriety without lending undue empathy. This is how most of us act towards, for example, the friend of a sibling. You want your sister or your brother to be hanging out with real ones, but you are keeping an eye out. You're being friendly, you're being respectful, but you are keeping an eye out. And you would only need or want undue empathy if you were trying to mislead me in a direction that I would not be going organically. And for people that are still caught up on the first part, not everyone's affected by the patriarchy. No, every single one of us on a subconscious level is. If you never went outside a day in your life, you would still subconsciously believe that the sky was blue. Because absolutely everything nods to the fact that the sky is blue. Everything you read, every person you interact with, every movie you watch. It's embedded into the fabric of your being. So if I was to give you a lie detector test and you'd never been exposed to the outdoors where you saw the sky was blue, and I asked you, is the sky blue? And you said no, it would come up as a lie for you. You subconsciously believe the sky is blue. And you have to consciously uncouple yourself from beliefs that align with this patriarchal structure. So because the system is set up in a way where women are vulnerable to abuse from men, and because it's geared for me to be at a disadvantage, I don't offer undue empathy. This isn't a game of chicken. This isn't playing games. This isn't testing behavior. This is survival skills. That's testing behavior. I love when people throw around thought-terminating cliches. It is my favorite litmus test for seeing whose brain is on autopilot from whatever Reddit thread or comment section they plucked that little statement from. Reveal yourself to me, fool. Anyways, someone that is in the perfect position to oppress you will very likely subconsciously oppress you if you put yourself in submissive positions and they have not done the internal work to unlearn patriarchal structures. The men in my life have proven time and time again that they are people with morals and they extend me empathy and have proven that they are trustworthy. And these relationships are very strong. You don't need to extend your neck to someone with large teeth to prove to them that you're there in good faith. To say, hey, look, I'm not testing you. That should never be expected of you in any circumstance. Let me give you a little scenario about two different girls. One is so excited to go on vacation with her boyfriend. It's their first trip. She trusts him implicitly. The second one is also very excited to go on the first trip with her boyfriend, but she does not extend undue trust. She ensures that they both have room keys. The first one doesn't. He would never put me in a position. They get into a fight at dinner. He tells her to leave the restaurant. She asks for the room key. He says, figure it out. Do you have to be in that situation? Was it necessary for you to be in that situation? It's never you until it's you. He's never that kind of guy until he is. Whenever women say things like this, men are very quick to refute her assertions and say, she's the problem, she's bitter, women need to be more feminine and vulnerable. Women are vulnerable. They don't need to act vulnerable for you to understand they are. ¿Me entiendes? I am vulnerable. I don't need to act it too. That language is the nicest way to say, bow your head a little lower for me. No. Until we're not in a patriarchal society, I don't need to relinquish anything until I understand that you, someone who is in a position to systematically overpower me, are here in good faith. And in order to prove that, you need to prove that you are a human first, that regards me as a human equal. But also engage with the reality that, yes, this is the system we live in. And it's a valid concern, and there is reason to be vigilant, as opposed to treating women like they are bitter and crazy and jaded. And good men very easily do this subconsciously. If you're a good man, realize how you subconsciously try to disarm women to entrust you as a human, as a person, before they fear you as a man. How you subconsciously try to impress upon women that you're not violent, you're not a cheater, you're not a stealer, you're not a liar. And good men do not skip a beat, let me tell you that. Good men are very quick to admit that there's probably a few things they need to unlearn. But they are actually willing to put the time in to not be an abuser, to not be part of this system that further oppresses women. Good men are naturally very protective. And before people start yelling, well, being protective is part of the patriarchal structure, blah, blah, blah. Use critical thinking, okay? Not all evolutionary behaviors are bad. And if the first thing you think of is, wow, the first thing in patriarchy that needs to go is men protecting women, I promise you, you aren't part of the good guys we're talking about. Quite the opposite. Like, once patriarchy is dismantled, we're not gonna make men take a pregnancy. And it's not like everything must go. Just don't be stupid with that argument. People are dumb. But back to the good men. They're scouring the environment for other dangerous men. They are keeping appropriate physical distance. They are very aware of their limbs, where they are in proximity to you. They're not making sudden gestures near your face. They're very aware of where their elbows, hands, extremities are in relation to your body. They're very nervous to say something that you might feel is derogatory, because they wouldn't want to insinuate superiority or insult you, because they respect you as a human equal. They hear something misogynistic and they say, oh my God, what an asshole, almost reflexively, even when girls are not there. And to those that say patriarchy hurts men too, great, all the more reason for you to join our plight and not participate in it. But it disproportionately hurts women. It hurts men in the way that, yeah, your hand hurts when you punch a wall, but we're the wall. Women are the wall. So I will prioritize sympathy and consideration subsequent to the consistent acknowledgement that I too am a human being, one deserving of empathy and consideration, because that is not the default setting within our system. And the newest form of oppression is manipulation via emotions and therapy speak. There's been a lot of activism to prevent the outward oppression of women via violence, etc. But now it's being done through emotional pleas, like my grandma died 10 years ago, or my mom's really sick. How could you think of me so harshly given all these emotional injuries I'm withstanding? So if you are treating me as beneath consideration or personhood, or making me compete for personhood adjacent to another person, do not ask for my empathy, my consideration, my benefit of the doubt. You are actively taking form as an oppressive presence, and oppressive forces are not to be overindulged or over-identified with. They are beneath the standard of someone who is afforded generosity, kindness, warmth.